school, get 5 CXC passes, and then go into your service.
Hey, fortunately in our life, it gives you an adrenaline rush like no other.
And level.
But I tell you, it was kind of subconsciously. Over the years, it took some time because at first I had to convince the wife.
I tell people, don't just focus on one country. Technology, it's there at our fingertip to focus on the world. Hi, how are you today?
I am great, man. Thank you.
Okay, welcome. And thanks for taking your time to have this interview.
No problem at all.
So tell us about yourself.
Okay, great. Well, Kirth Regis is the name.
Okay, nice.
I am 51 years old, born and grow, Marabella, San Fernando. At about maybe age 21 or so, I would have joined the Trinidad and Tobago Fire Service.
Yeah.
And I would have spent about 18 years in the fire service, working in all departments, all divisions, North, Central, South, and Tobago.
So you was a true serviceman.
I was a true serviceman.
So what made you come out of the service knowing that our ancestors told us, you know, go to school, get 5 CXC passes, and then go into your service?
Hey, fortunate you should say that, because I'm from a line of educators. You know, my mother was an assistant principal as well, you know, steeped in academics, and that was a desire for me, you know, you will continue in the academic trend. And, you know, sometimes life throws you a curveball.
So true.
So at a point in time, well, actually, when I finished CXC, I was just doing nothing for a while, waiting on results and so forth. And one day the ad came, and my father, who reads every single newspaper he can find on a daily basis, he says, there's an ad here for the fire service, you know, you should go and try out for it. So I grabbed my stuff, and I was shepherded out to the fire station. And you know, from there, the rest is history. You know, I was accepted, and I'm like, I'll do this until something else comes, and it lasted. I fell in love with emergency response and with saving people, and there's something about saving a life gives you an adrenaline rush like no other. You know?
And you mentioned about 18 years. So I know in the service, once you cross 10 years, you are pensionable. So you did a smart move. So what you into right now?
Right. So at about June or so of 2013, just reached a stage in life where I felt I plateaued in the service. You know, I've been there, done that as much as I want, and I'm a kind of person need to be challenged on a daily basis, you know?
That's
so I said, hey, let's see what's out there. I Googled the #1 emergency response training institution in the world, and one name came up, Texas A&M Engineering Extension Service. And at the time, I had sold my house, and I had a little money left over. I said, you know what, we're making this jump. And I just, invested in that. And actually, it was 4 weeks of classes that I invested in. And I only had hotel fee for 2 weeks.
Whoa.
And I said, you know what? It's time. I have to bet on myself. You know, I was that stage in life.
And you took that calculated risk. It's not like a risk that you didn't think about, and then you already was in that field. It's just you want to take it to a different level.
But I tell you, it was kind of subconsciously the way to go, because my father was a senior superintendent in those days, Trintuck in those days. So I used to run up and down that plant in Point-a-Pierre. So industry and oil and gas was kind of in my blood. So it was a natural progression. I wanted to stay in emergency response, but I also wanted to get into the energy sector. So I married the two, and I went and I studied industrial emergency response at the top school in the world, which was one of the best decisions of my life. Fortunately, I went there, I studied for a period of time. I graduated as an industrial emergency response specialist, the first ever in the Caribbean.
Congrats. First ever in the Caribbean.
The Caribbean. You know, I thank God for, you know, the push and the drive, because I tell you what, there was no room for failure, as you know. It's 6 and plus to 1. So when I make that investment, I don't have a safety net, so I had to eat it. I'm telling you.
I understand you.
So, bro, I went there.
Raw and direct.
I went there, and basically there was nothing in the book that I didn't know by the end. You know, unfortunately, I came out on top in the class, so much so that immediately my final dissertation, I didn't present to my lecturers, I presented to the Board of Regents at A&M. And as soon as they heard it, they said they offered me an opportunity. Again, the first non-US instructor full-time with Texas A&M Engineering Extension Service. So
that is awesome to hear.
That is, you know, I have to give thanks to Almighty God, and I was posted to Qatar straight away.
Okay, awesome. So you're supposed to have dual citizenship with all those sorts of achievements that you have.
Well, I have been offered in some regards. However, again, you know, I follow where I believe I am led,
right?
So to speak, you know, and I was led to follow the path to go to the Middle East. At the time, Qatar Energy was just about planning its launch for global dominance as it relates to LNG supply.
Yeah.
So with my expertise, I saw it as a great opportunity to work and to fashion and form an industry and a sector, you know, which is a chance doesn't come along every day.
Definitely.
So I was able to do that and work with them and gain invaluable experience.
And for the Caribbean now, with all that knowledge that you have learned thus far, so what are some of the things that you tend to do in the Caribbean, you know, maybe give back by teaching and so forth? Maybe have like a program?
Excellent. So think about it. I'm out there. I have to say I'm at the top of the game. I'm doing exactly what I want to do. But my heart, I'm still training to the bone. You understand, you know?
And you're representing Red, so you love training. I know it. I feel the energy.
More than just the music and the culture, you know. Caribbean people are my people, you know. And if you have this wealth of knowledge, you have information that could change lives or save lives. How could you continue to watch lives lost? You know, so honestly, it became a situation where, I mean, it's difficult to sleep at night because you know, you read about something in the paper and you know that you know how to stop that, you know? So then there's a responsibility. There's a saying, you know, to whom much is given, much is required.
Correct. You
understand? So over the years, it took some time because at first I had to convince the wife.
You know how that goes.
That's a work in progress. But notwithstanding that, you know, she fully supported me. You know, I said, hey, babe, listen. I had to do something. I left firefighters back home. I left brothers back home. My family still lives there. If there's an industrial emergency, I want to be there to help. You know, I want to train people and build.
As they say, behind every great man is a great woman.
Absolutely.
So she give you that support. That's excellent.
With her blessing, you know. That's not the key part. Well, it is one of the amazing part. The other one is, you know, I mentioned it to the university that I work with because I've developed excellent professional and personal relationships with the management and the directors at A&M. And I said, hey, look, I want to do this. They said, we support you. Go back, build your school. We'll accredit it. We'll support you. So, yeah, the really good news is I have recently completed, with my partner, Andrea, we have completed the construction and the commission of the first ever cooperative learning center in the Caribbean for Texas A&M Engineering Extension. What that means is now, hey, people don't have to go through what I went through to get there and get it done. We brought the mountain to Munan or to Muhammad, as we say. So, you know, now people, you know, we say ordinary people, but normal people who wouldn't have access to these opportunities
and the
because of foreign exchange and because of logistics.
And that's a big problem.
I'm telling you, now with TT dollars, you can invest in yourself, in your children, and get an international certification where, should they choose to leave the shores of Trinidad and Tobago, their certification stands toe-to-toe with anyone else's in the world in terms of emergency response. They can get a job with any one of the top companies, energy companies, as an emergency response technician. So that is, I'm really, really proud of that. It's about giving back. It's about
I'm proud to hear that about too.
So that's it.
Yeah, because in Trinidad, you know the issue that we have with Forex. So imagine with your $50, you are able to acquire something that you could be international.
Exactly.
And then everyone looking for opportunities here.
Exactly.
But when you acquire that certification, that qualification, you could take it any way that you want to in the world. So that's really awesome. And I always tell people, don't just focus on one country. Technology, it's there at our fingertip to focus on the world.
It is.
Like this interview that we're doing here, we never to know if it will reach someone in another Caribbean country and they'll be like, hey, I'm in Trinidad right now. I want to enroll in your program.
Oh, I'm telling you, absolutely. Which is what is happening because we have opened it up to the CARICOM region and we are getting incredible support. There's a lot of traction for the first ever professional board of firefighters. So that is a standard where New York firefighters, Los Angeles, any emergency responder professionally within the U.S. system must train to what is called the Pro Board standard. So for the first time in Trinidad, we are offering a Pro Board Train the Trainer course. And the kind of traction we've gotten from Jamaica, from Barbados, we have people coming from St. Kitts to do this course. Next month, April, from this 7th.
This will be the
first ever. A lot of firsts, my brother. It's an exciting time in this country. It's an exciting time.
And which part will be?
Good. So this course we will host at our training facility at Chancellor Hotel. So we have 3 locations. We have Chancellor Hotel in the north. We have another training facility at Tradewinds Hotel in south for the south people. And for the heavy emergency response courses that have live fire, we also do high angle, hazardous materials, those outdoor programs. We have a brand new training facility built at Harry's Waterpark. At Harry's Waterpark.
So after the training, if you want to take a splash, you can.
Well, you need to take a splash, my friend. And that is segue into another initiative that we have where we are marrying training and education with tourism. So it's called the Training Tourism Initiative that we have. So the idea is, and starting with local tourism, because still there are people who either have not been or haven't been in a long time to Harry's Waterpark.
It's true. Like myself, I haven't been there. I always want to go there.
Man, and there's been a lot of development with there. And Harry, I can say, I went to him with the vision. He caught the vision, invested. He gave us everything we need. We built a fabulous training facility there. And so the opportunity is now, when you come there to take a course, and my courses are only 5-day courses, but still, instead of you have to commute back and forth every day from Tabaquite to wherever you live, you're able to stay there just for the 5-day period. It makes it easier to study. You don't have the hassle of commuting. The heavy firefighting aspect is done at our facility, which is actually really nice. It's about 10,000 square feet. Up at Harry's Waterpark. And kudos to Harry, because when I took the vision to him, he immediately caught on. He understood how important it is. The reason why we did it at Harry's Waterpark is so that, even for persons who may never have been to Harry's Waterpark, or
like myself.
or there are persons who haven't been there in a long time. They are able to come to a location where you can stay at the location and train at the location. You can do your studies and you won't have any breakage, because if you have to commute from Tabaquite for those heavy classes back and forth morning and evening, it affects your study time.
For sure.
Yes, you're tired. It affects your ability to do well. And after you spend $4,000 or $5,000 on a course, you don't want to fail.
Correct.
So what we did is we sat down and we looked at, okay, what are all the obstacles? We put ourselves in the position of the person needing the course. And we sought to break down all of the obstacles, remove them, so that the individual could have the best experience and the best chance at succeeding at these courses. So it's a 5-day course. It's not long. You come, you're able to stay at Harry's at a subsidized fee. Then you're able to take your course so you can really hone in and focus on your training.
I think that's a great value, because I always say that price is something that is secondary. If you are obtaining a course at, let's say, $5,000, and as you mentioned about the subsidized fee at staying at Harry's, and this is internationally recognized. Why not?
It's a win-win.
Invest in yourself.
Absolutely, absolutely. So this is it. I'm really very happy about this initiative. As I said, foreign exchange is a big issue.
Definitely.
And when you really do the calculation, a lot of people would find it prohibitive, plain talk. All right. If you have to go to the bank and even if you show your ticket, the most you're getting is $200.
Correct. Yeah.
And what you can't even buy.
That.
Exactly. So, you don't have to worry about foreign exchange. You can simply invest in yourself. A mother who has a son, she's worried about him. There are not opportunities.
Yeah.
She may have a little money. Now she can invest, get him certified, get him qualified to an international standard, and give him an excellent chance where the energy companies could say, okay, come in and have employment as an emergency response technician.
And a great thing about this is that I'm sure that the top person in your class, they would get an opportunity to work with one of these energy sector companies.
Exactly. So because of the business we're into, we have a lot of strategic relationships and partnerships that we are developing, and students can then leverage that. So you come in from wherever the playing field is level, you do well, you graduate the top of your class, we were able to pull the cream of the crop, as it were, and be able to then suggest them onto these companies and say, hey, look, we have people, we have a team, top performers, and get them opportunities.
Awesome. And how would someone be able to enroll into your program?
Excellent. So you can go onto our website with apexisriskinnovation.com.
Okay, I will put it up.
Yes, and once you go onto the website, you will see a link for registration. Also, you can send an email to training@apexisglobal.com, right? Training@apexisglobal. Once you do that, a team will reach out to you within 24 hours and take you through the entire registration process.
That's awesome, because a lot of issues, and I myself face with, is that sometimes you're trying to enroll in something and it's not user-friendly.
Yeah, absolutely.
So having a team doing that work for you.
Definitely.
What do you need again?
Yeah. And, there are even payment plans.
Okay.
Listen, we put everything in place.
All problems that someone could be faced, you narrow it down and said, hey, let's help those who I need.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. I like that. Yeah.
Exactly, my brother. So it's an awesome time. It's an interesting time. And we really look forward to opening doors for people who would otherwise not have that opportunity.
Great. And thank you very much for your valuable time. And anything that you would like to tell the young generation, those millennials today, because in society right now, it's a bit cumbersome, especially in Trinidad and going up the region, that we tend to see that community leaders are the ones that maybe younger generation tend to lean on, but lean on a course, lean on a program that could benefit you, that could benefit your family in time to come.
Excellent. Well, first of all, we want to say to them that we understand, because a lot of young people don't feel understood. They feel judged, they feel marginalized. But we understand. We understand that times are hard, things are difficult, that there are not many opportunities. The skies may look gray and dark.
Yeah.
But, we want to encourage them, hey, look, take a step. Take a step. If you want to head in a direction, you see yourself achieving something, make that first step. There's a saying that says, when you take a step, God will meet you halfway.
Yeah.
And I have had that experience, because as I would tell you, when I left Trinidad, I left with just a carry-on and maybe $40 in my pocket.
Seriously?
I'm telling you, after I invested, I had nothing. I stayed in the cheapest hotel that there was. I couldn't afford internet when I leave the hotel. So I would, at the hotel, memorize the route. And the route was approximately 2.25 miles away from the hotel to the training institution. I would memorize the route and I would leave in darkness and I would walk to the school. You understand?
Yeah.
As we say, a little black boy walking through Texas Ave in the dark. But you have to believe in yourself and you have to take a step. The evening when I was walking home, one of the instructors at the institution stopped and couldn't believe I was walking. He said, no, get in the vehicle. And from then on, I had a ride to and from class every day.
Right.
But it would not have happened if I didn't take this step.
And just one person need that help from it.
Exactly.
It would need to be 5 or 10.
And look where it ended up today, and still going. So I want to encourage young people, look, you may not have much money. You may not have, many opportunities, but in any way, shape or form, if you can just launch out and take one step in the direction you want to go, somebody will see you and more opportunities will open. But you have to take that step.
That step, definitely. You need to plant before you reap.
You must.
Thank you very much, brother.
Hey, man. You're welcome. Thank you.
Welcome.